Katie, you guys are traveling to Texas for a pretty big tournament this weekend to open the season. But before we talk about that, just talk about how training camp has gone these last 2 weeks,
Mm.
this team coming together. Uh, Give us your impressions.
Yeah, it's been going really, really well. It's been fun to be back in the gym, 2 practices a day and kind of pushing them. Practices have been really intense in a good way. I think our team is really competitive. They have high expectations, and so I've been really impressed with how they're pushing themselves every day in practice. But because we are a year removed from them experiencing an intensity like that, I think there's also this balance of them needing rest and trying to preserve their bodies. So I think it's kind of been a good mix of both.
You use the word good mix of both. You're
Yeah.
also talking about your team. You've got a good mix of
Mm-hmm.
young players and veteran players,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of experience on this team. Tell us about how the progression has gone this year as opposed to other years in terms of the experience you brought back.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I just feel like we are starting at a much higher level than we have in the past, just in terms of, even teaching skill or, teaching strategy or even teaching our philosophy and what our program is about, and developing that culture. I feel like all of those things already took place and we had a really strong foundation last year. And so we were able to come in this fall and just immediately, move forward. And I actually don't feel like they took any steps backwards. So in a way, I kind of feel like we're starting right where we ended in spring last year.
Talk about the competition you're going to face down in San Antonio this weekend. It's not just the number one ranked
Mm-hmm.
team in the country who's the host, Trinity, but there's other good teams
Mm-hmm.
down there as well. Talk about
Mm-hmm.
some of the challenges we're going to face.
Yeah, first game is Hendrix, and they have a really strong program. They have good experience. They've made it to the NCAA postseason a handful of times. I actually remember watching their program compete when we were at Texas Dallas. We were in the same pool in the NCAA tournament. So they're going to be tough. All those Texas teams are. I think we haven't really experienced any kind of competition outside of 3 opponents in the last year. So it's really hard to measure where we're at. I'm just excited for this opportunity to see some different opponents and some really competitive matches.